So I don't know about you guys, but I have got a love-hate relationship with these things right here. Bottle jacks. I love them. They're super handy around the shop. I got one on the press here. I've got a couple other ones floating around. Super handy around the garage. What I hate is the fact that the same handle that you have to use to jack it up is the same thing you have to use to let the pressure off of it. These things are inconvenient. I don't like having to keep switching back and forth. So for this bottle jack particularly, I did a video where I made some modifications to this press and I added this knob. Where am I? I had this knob right here. This thing is super beefy. It's like a cast iron knob. This thing's great. I have it off right now because I have a couple other bottle jacks around and I thought that I would 3D print some knobs. Don't mind the lettering. The lettering didn't turn out quite the way that I wanted. But this knob will fit this bottle jack, and I've got another 20-ton Harbor Freight. This one fits great on. Making another version for a bottle jack that I think came out of a car. This is it right here. It's got like this double D type of release on it. So I'm doing two different knobs. Let's go up to the computer and I'll show you how I kind of put it together in Onshape. So the first thing I did was I created the base. I wanted to make sure that the base was dialed in before I created anything else. So this was the one for the double D bottle jack. I had just took all the measurements I could, developed this base, and then I printed them out in like a prototype mode that I use, which is like 5% infill. And then once I was sure of that, then here I am creating the top, creating the knob itself. Made it about 50 millimeters, and then I extruded it out to about 10 millimeter thick. There we go. And then once I was happy with that and everything looked good there, I wanted to add in the little nubs or the little like cutouts on it. I didn't want just a round wheel. So started another sketch. Again, went out to 50 millimeter, and then I started adding in these side circles here once they actually start populating. There we go. So I made those circles, and then I used like the circular pattern once I had the size that I wanted, laid those circles out, and that got me kind of, here I am playing with it. I'm no Onshape, I'm no CAD, specialist, so bear with me guys. I'm kind of fumbling through this. It's my first time really trying something like this. But there I coincident the circle to the outside edge, made sure everything was right where I wanted it. And then I went up and I created a circular pattern, and that lays different numbers out. There's 3 of those circles, and I wanted 5. So you just use a circular pattern, you lay that out, and it gives you 5 equally spaced circles. Once those were done, then the next step was to extrude just the portions where they overlap, and that created the cutout. So that's an extrusion add, but there you do some extrusion remove, and you see it's creating those notches. Once I was happy with that, I applied that, and then there's the base shape. And then I wanted, obviously, it's got to be a little bit smoother. So I selected the face, and I'm going to add a fillet. And I think that was a 3 millimeter fillet. Like I said, guys, the settings themselves aren't really important. I'm kind of still learning all this Onshape stuff, all this CAD stuff. So did the same thing on the bottom, selected the entire face, added the fillets, and then that created the roundovers, and that gives it just a smoother look. Now at the sides of those cutouts, those were still kind of sharp edges. So there's probably a better way to do this. If you know of one, leave a comment below. I'd like to learn. But I just went around and I selected each vertical face, and then once I got them all selected, I will again create a 3 millimeter fillet. That way they all match, and it just makes for a nice, smooth handle. On one of them, the other one actually, for the one that fits the 20-ton press, I was playing around with adding knurling. And actually, as I look over here at the printer that just finished, I printed it with knurling. I'm going to have to remove that. It didn't print well enough. I think I had the knurling too small. But anyway, here I am, added those fillets. Now the surface is all nice and smooth. Got it pretty much the finished shape that I want right there for this knob. I'm really happy with the size of it. Didn't need to be very big. Any bigger actually, and the knob would have hit if I have like the bottle jack on the ground. Here I am exporting it as an STL, so then I could send it over to my Creality printer and get these things all printed out. So here are my two knobs fresh off the printer. This one is that double D style. You can see those two flats in there. I'll probably end up adding a set screw through the side just to help secure it in place, because this one will just come right on and off. And for that reason, I want to print these probably in like a bright orange, just so they don't get lost. But adding a set screw will definitely help. Now, these are only printed in PLA for now. I'll probably get some orange PETG just to make them a little more stable as far as temperature wise, and maybe a little extra robustness to them, a little bit more. This one, you can see, has the through holes for a roll pin. Now, when I made the hole, I set it for like 5mm, and that way I would have the hole, and then I could just chase it with a drill to get the final fit just right. And I'm going to use roll pins instead of the pins that came on these bottle jacks. That's just because the end is a little mushroom. The one pin's a little bent. I can get it in there, but I got roll pins, so I'm going to use those. But let's get these onto the jack and see how they look. All right, guys, so there you go. There's the knob on the 20-ton Harbor Freight jack, held on with a roll pin, nice and secure. Like I said, I'm probably going to reprint these in a brighter color and in PETG just to make them a little more. I might add some more infill. Right now they're only printed with the standard 30% infill. And the other one is right here. That's that double D mount. So it drops, if I can get my alignment right. There we go. Drops right on there. Works the jack perfectly. It could maybe be a little bit longer, but with a set screw you can pull it out just a little bit. But it works. It does rub a little bit on the base. So maybe I'll, you know what, for the file that I post, this one will have a little bit deeper base on it, just so that it sits on there a little bit better. And like I said, I would drill and tap that for a set screw, just so that you don't lose that. But that comes right on and off. Nice, simple little 3D printed upgrade to your bottle jacks. And there you go, guys. Rather than go out and buy knobs like this, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is nice, it is beefy, it is very solid. For a fraction of the cost, you can have a little 3D printed upgrade to some of your garage and shop equipment. I know I keep talking about it that, you know, I really wanted to try 3D printing to see how well it would work out in my garage. And so far, guys, I have been really, really happy with it. I'm learning something new, and I'm getting to make some things for the garage without having to, you know, shell out a whole lot of money. I mean, I realize I had to pay for the 3D printer and the filament, but I really do think that in the long run, that thing is going to pay for itself multiple times over. It's just a really good investment, and it's been a lot of fun to learn a new skill. Really appreciate you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe, hit the bell. See you on the next one.